Half-Life 2 is a game that needs no introduction. This, however, is something a little different. It's not quite the same thing. Yes, it is Half-Life 2, but something's missing. Don't you think? Welcome to Half-Life 2 Alone. I have always been a fan of the idea of urban exploration, or urbex for short. Finding yourself in locations long abandoned by the world, left to rot away and succumb to nature's influence. It's something I've seen and been fond of since I was a kid. I've never gotten to do anything like that in real life, and frankly, that's for the best. I feel like I'd probably get myself hurt. But I've always indulged in the art pieces that have to do with urbex on YouTube. Exploring with Josh comes to mind specifically. In recent years, I have been introduced to many forms of artistic medium, one of which being the world of virtual reality. When I learned what VR could do, the first thing that entered my mind was the idea of urbex in VR. Imagine what could be done, allowing anybody, anywhere in the world, to get that feeling of discovering something not meant to be found. The feeling of crossing uncharted territory. The feeling of exploration. And then I discovered a channel known as The Librarian. The Librarian is a variety YouTuber dabbling in all things creepy yet comfy, urbex being one of those things. He's gone on multiple voyages to long-abandoned buildings like mental institutions, military outposts, power plants, and even a surgical building at one point. And it seems he had the same idea as I did, because he has a series on YouTube dedicated to the exploration of Gmod maps using the VR add-on for the game itself. It's been going on since 2021 with over 200 entries, not counting the Halloween marathons, which I believe there are 4 of them. Needless to say, this really caught my attention. What a wonderful idea! And many others thought the same. While it's not entirely thanks to the Librarian, I believe he's played a big part in the recent interest of creepy exploration games, and the idea of liminal urbex as a whole. And I thank him for it. The idea of liminal spaces and the Source engine have been intertwined since the original Backroom story even came to be. Source is a perfect example of locations that just feel slightly off. Half-Life 2 being no exception. Many people agree that Half-Life 2 is a game worth giving the urbex treatment, but it wasn't until November of last year where ModDB user Wad Adels decided to take matters into their own hands, creating Half-Life 2 Alone. Over time, it was finished, including both episodes, multiple endings, and even a little bit of its own lore. And I absolutely ate it up. But something was missing. At least until May of this year. You find yourself in City 17. Everyone is gone. You are all that remains. So you decide to move forward. Using your flashlight to guide you, you make your way through the dark and dismal hallways of this area once teeming with something akin to life. It's dark and quiet. You can almost feel the cold air on your face as you move forward. And now, you're introduced to one of the mod's first features: branching paths. You can go to the places that were blocked off before. Considering the fact that the bodies blocking them are gone, of course you can. You make your way down the paths. Nothing special. Might as well continue forward. This will be the main thought process you have throughout the entire playthrough of Half-Life 2 alone. This mod is for a very niche audience. There's no enemies, there's no friends, there's nothing in between. Not a single living soul has been left to stay in this world, except for you. So you walk, and you do so until you can't walk anymore. This mod walks you through all of Half-Life 2, including both episodes, and there's a very high chance you'll get bored before the ending, and I fully understand that. But the little things the mod does, in my opinion, are enough to make me enjoy it a lot. A great example is this mod's version of Anti-Citizen 1. If you're aware, the original game's chapter is the first time you see City 17 during the Uprising. It's a great moment because you specifically walk through places you saw at the very beginning of the game, but the buildings are destroyed and disheveled because of the active war zone you're running through. So how does HL2 alone do it? Destruction requires one of two things: the hand of the living, or the passage of time. Not enough time has passed, and if you remember, you're completely alone. The lab is untouched. It looks exactly how it did when you first found it. Part of you feels it's even cleaner than it was before. The only way back to the surface is the way you came. You make your way back to the elevator. The elevator jolts to life, making the opposite path back up from where it had just led you not even a day prior. You make your way up the rickety staircase despite its previous tendency to fall apart beneath your feet. you're back. And nothing has changed. Nobody was there to cause it. If you didn't believe that before, the idea is once again drilled into your head like a screw. This mod is really, really hard to describe. It's not something I can really put into words. It's certainly required to experience firsthand, and I hope my little descriptions of moments in the game are helpful in persuading you to, in fact, experience this wonderful mod. If you'd rather not play it, I would certainly recommend the Librarian series on it. He describes the experience much better than I ever could. But please, I implore you to experience this mod somehow. Whether it is the videos, whether you play it yourself. You don't have to play it in VR. It has a flat screen version that came out first. But please, it's something that I don't feel like I did a very good job explaining in this video. You won't regret it.